Taking risks is essential for growth and success. Staying in your comfort zone leads to stagnation. The comfort zone is a place where everything feels safe and predictable. It's where we know what to expect, where we feel in control, and where there's no fear of failure or uncertainty. But here's the thing, nothing ever grows in the comfort zone. True growth only happens when we step out of it and take risks. If you want to achieve something remarkable, you must be willing to embrace discomfort, uncertainty, and the possibility of failure. Without risk, there's no progress. Without risk, there's no change. And without change, there's no success. When we talk about taking risks, many people think about drastic, life-altering decisions. While those certainly qualify, taking risks doesn't always have to mean making big, bold moves. It can also involve the small, everyday actions that push you to step outside your comfort zone. It might mean speaking up when you're used to staying quiet. It could mean trying something new in your business or taking a new approach to solving a problem. It's these small risks that over time lead to bigger ones and eventually result in significant growth and success. Failure provides you with a clear picture of what doesn't work. Every time you fail, you gain clarity on what went wrong and why it didn't work. This clarity is critical because it allows you to adjust your approach and improve your strategy. Without failure, you'd never know what needed to change, what skills you needed to develop, or what obstacles were standing in your way. Think of failure as feedback. It's a direct response to your efforts, telling you what you need to do differently in order to succeed. The more you fail, the more insights you gather, and the better prepared you are for the next attempt. Failing also helps you build resilience. Life isn't always smooth sailing. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and challenges that test your will and determination. Resilience is the ability to keep going even when things don't go as planned. And resilience is built through failure. Every time you fail and pick yourself up, you strengthen your ability to handle adversity. Resilience is a muscle that grows stronger with each challenge you face. It teaches you not to take failure personally, but to see it as a natural part of growth. The more resilient you become, the easier it is to face future challenges without fear, knowing that failure is just another opportunity for growth. Moreover, failure helps you develop a mindset of perseverance. Perseverance is about sticking to your goals and continuing to push forward even when things are tough. It's about having the grit to keep trying even after repeated failures. When you fail and refuse to quit, you build perseverance. You learn that success isn't achieved by giving up after one setback, but by continuing to show up day after day, even when the outcome is uncertain. This ability to persevere through failure is what ultimately leads to success. It's what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who give up too soon. Perseverance is the key to turning failure into success. Without it, failure is just an obstacle. With it, failure becomes an integral part of the journey toward achieving your goals. In addition to building resilience and perseverance, failure helps you develop humility. When you fail, it's a humbling experience. It reminds you that you don't know everything and that there's always room to learn and grow. Humility is not about belittling yourself. It's about recognizing that no one achieves success alone. It's about acknowledging that mistakes are part of the learning process and that failure is not something to be ashamed of, but something to embrace. Humility allows you to accept feedback, adjust your course of action, and keep moving forward with a clear understanding that growth comes through effort, not perfection. Another critical aspect of failure is its ability to teach you how to manage fear. Fear of failure often prevents people from taking risks and pursuing their dreams. But when you embrace failure as a part of the process, you learn how to manage that fear. Fear of failure is natural, but it shouldn't stop you from taking action. The more you face failure, the less power it has over you. You begin to realize that failing is not the worst thing that can happen. Staying stuck in your comfort zone is. Over time, the fear of failure diminishes, and you start to approach challenges with confidence and courage, knowing that failure is simply a temporary setback. Failure also plays a critical role in shaping your success by helping you build a sense of ownership over your journey. When you fail, it's easy to place the blame on external factors, but successful people take full responsibility for their failures. They understand that their failures are a reflection of their decisions, actions, and mindset. Taking ownership of failure is empowering because it allows you to take control of your future action. It also teaches you that you have the power to change your circumstances. Rather than blaming others or external factors, you look inward and ask, what can I do differently next time? This sense of ownership is what leads to personal growth and success. Lastly, failure helps you cultivate patience. In a world that demands instant results, failure teaches you that success takes time. It's easy to become discouraged when things don't happen quickly, but failure teaches you the value of patience. It reminds you that good things take time and that success is a process, not a destination. When you learn to embrace failure and recognize it as a part of the process, you develop the patience to stick with your goals, knowing that success is not immediate, but earned through persistence, learning, and growth. Failure is not the end of the road. It's an essential part of the journey. It provides you with the lessons you need to succeed, helps you build resilience and perseverance, and shapes your character along the way. Instead of fearing failure, embrace it, learn from it, grow because of it, and most importantly, keep moving forward. Because success is not about avoiding failure, it's about learning from it and using it to propel you to new heights. Playing it safe guarantees mediocrity. True greatness comes from stepping into the unknown. Many people choose the path of least resistance because it feels secure and comfortable. They stick to what they know, follow familiar routines, and avoid challenges. While this may feel safe in the short term, it ultimately leads to a life of mediocrity, where growth and achievement are limited. Greatness, however, is not found in the comfort zone. It's found in the willingness to take risks, to face uncertainty, and to push yourself beyond what you think you are capable of. When you constantly play it safe, you're essentially choosing to maintain the status quo. You're not challenging yourself or stepping outside your limitations. The truth is, if you want to achieve something truly great, you have to do things that most people are too afraid to do. You need to step into the unknown and take risks that can lead to incredible rewards. Without risk, you remain stagnant, never moving forward, never reaching your full potential. Playing it safe only gives you what you already have. And if what you have is not fulfilling, then the only way to change that is to step outside of your comfort zone. Mediocrity is the result of taking the safe route. It's the result of choosing the familiar over the challenging, the easy over the difficult. Mediocrity occurs when we settle for what's good enough rather than striving for excellence. Too often, people find themselves in this place because they're afraid of failure or rejection. They avoid the discomfort of trying something new or taking a chance on an idea that might not work. But the reality is, those who play it safe are the ones who are most likely to miss out on life's greatest opportunities. When you take risks, you open yourself up to new possibilities. Risk forces you to innovate, to think creatively, and to find new ways of doing things. When you venture into the unknown, you have to be resourceful and adaptable. It's in these moments of uncertainty that you learn to think outside the box, to challenge conventional wisdom, and to create something new. Whether it's starting a new business, pursuing a different career path, or investing in an idea that others consider risky, it's these risks that push you to grow, both personally and professionally. True greatness is about embracing the unknown and stepping into situations that require you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. It's not about knowing everything or having all the answers. It's about taking the first step, even when you're not sure where it will lead. Greatness comes from the courage to face uncertainty and the resilience to continue moving forward despite challenges. It's about being willing to fail, learn, and try again, knowing that each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your ultimate goals. When you play it safe, you miss out on the opportunity to experience true fulfillment. There is a certain level of satisfaction and pride that comes from taking a leap of faith and succeeding against the odds. When you challenge yourself and face the unknown, you gain a sense of accomplishment and confidence that you can't get by staying in the safe zone. These experiences shape who you are and give you the motivation to keep striving for more. The reward for taking risks is not just success. It's the growth that comes from overcoming obstacles, facing fears, and achieving something you didn't think was possible. Mediocrity also results from comparing yourself to others who are playing it safe. The world is full of people who are content with staying within the boundaries of what they know. They look around at others and see that they're living the same kind of life, doing the same kind of work, and following the same routines. In these moments, it's easy to feel like this is what life is supposed to look like. But true greatness comes from forging your own path, not from following the footsteps of others. When you decide to take risks, you stop looking at what everyone else is doing and focus on what you can do to create your own unique life. Choosing greatness over mediocrity means challenging the norm, rejecting complacency, and going after what you truly desire, even when the road is unclear. It requires you to take action, to put yourself out there, and to trust that the reward will be worth the effort. Greatness isn't a destination, it's a process, and it starts with making the decision to step outside of your comfort zone. When you make that choice, you unlock the potential to achieve things that others may not even consider possible. You break free from the shackles of fear, doubt, and insecurity, and you take control of your future. You might fail along the way, but that's part of the process. Greatness is not defined by a flawless journey. It's defined by the perseverance to keep going, the courage to learn from mistakes, and the willingness to push forward despite the setbacks. The safe route may seem easier, but it doesn't offer the same opportunities for growth, satisfaction, and success that come from stepping into the unknown. The moment you decide to take risks, you begin a journey toward extraordinary success. You begin to unlock your true potential and find out what you're truly capable of. It's through taking risks that you discover who you are, what you're passionate about, and what you want to achieve in life. The journey won't be easy, and there will be obstacles along the way, but the rewards will be worth it, so don't settle for mediocrity. Step outside your comfort zone. Take the risks that will lead you to greatness. And the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Embracing risk leads to extraordinary achievements. It's easy to fall into the trap of playing it safe, but the reality is if you want to achieve something truly remarkable, you must be willing to take bigger risks. Risk is the catalyst for growth, success, and innovation. Without it, we remain in the same place, doing the same things, getting the same results. The true value of risk lies not in the possibility of failure, but in the immense potential for reward that comes with it. The bigger the risk you take, the more you push yourself to grow, to overcome challenges, and to unlock opportunities that you wouldn't have otherwise encountered. Risk is often viewed as something to avoid, something dangerous or unpredictable. But what people fail to realize is that playing it safe comes with its own set of risks. By not taking action, by not challenging the status quo, you risk missing out on the most important opportunities for growth and success. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone, but it's there that you stagnate, where progress comes to a halt. It's in taking risks, whether small or large, that you create the opportunity for something bigger, something more meaningful to happen. When you take bigger risks, you force yourself to level up. You challenge your abilities, your mindset, and your confidence. It's easy to stay in a position where you feel comfortable, but when you step outside of that comfort, you open the door to new possibilities, new ideas, and new ways of thinking. The fear of failure might be daunting at first, but with each risk you take, you become more confident in your ability to handle uncertainty. The more risks you embrace, the more resilient you become. And with that resilience comes growth, both personally and professionally. Think about the great innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers who have shaped our world. None of them achieved their success by playing it safe. They took massive risks that others were too afraid to take. Steve Jobs took a risk by investing his time and money into Apple when the company was on the brink of collapse. Elon Musk risked his fortune on ventures like SpaceX and Tesla, which were at the time considered outlandish by many. These individuals didn't just take risks for the sake of it. They saw the potential reward, the possibilities that could emerge if they were willing to step into the unknown. And because of their willingness to embrace risk, They created groundbreaking innovations that have changed the world. The greater the risk, the greater the potential reward. This is not just about financial gain. It's about the personal satisfaction that comes from knowing you dared to take a chance, to step beyond what was expected. The rewards of taking risks go far beyond tangible success. When you take a risk, you build a sense of accomplishment, a feeling that you are actively pursuing something greater. You are not waiting for opportunities to come to you. You are creating your own future, one risk at a time. While the risk might seem intimidating, the reward often outweighs the fear. It's easy to focus on the potential for loss, but you must also consider the potential for gain. If you never take a risk, you might never experience the success or satisfaction that comes with going beyond what you thought was possible. The reward of taking risks often comes in the form of new opportunities, new relationships, and personal growth. When you take risks, you discover strengths you didn't know you had, and abilities that you might have doubted. Moreover, taking risks forces you to be more resourceful and innovative. When you're faced with uncertainty, you can't rely on the same old strategies and solutions. You have to think differently, problem solve creatively, and find new ways to navigate challenges. This is where innovation thrives. It's when we step out of our comfort zone that we come up with new ideas, new products, and new ways of thinking. Risk is what drives innovation because it requires us to be flexible and adaptable, to embrace uncertainty and turn it into something positive. Taking bigger risks also means that you have the chance to break free from the limitations others place on you. Many people hold themselves back because they are afraid of what others might think, or because they don't feel supported in their endeavors. But when you take bold risks, you break free from those external pressures and trust in your own judgment. You stop seeking permission from others and instead make decisions based on your own goals and vision. This sense of independence is incredibly empowering and gives you the strength to pursue your passions regardless of what others may say or do. It's important to recognize that risk is not synonymous with recklessness. Taking risk does not mean throwing caution to the wind or acting without thinking. It's about calculated risks, those that are taken with careful consideration of the potential consequences and rewards. You weigh the pros and cons, assess the risks, and then make a decision based on what you believe is the best course of action. Risk doesn't mean you throw caution to the wind, but it does mean that you are willing to embrace the unknown and face uncertainty with confidence. When you take risks, you also set an example for others to follow. Your courage inspires others to take risks as well, to step outside their own comfort zones and to pursue their own dreams. When you lead by example and take bold steps toward your goals, you create a ripple effect that encourages others to do the same. This is how movements are started, how change is sparked, and how greatness is achieved. Your willingness to take risks can inspire those around you to take their own chances and break free from the limitations that are holding them back. In the end, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. Risk is not something to be avoided, it's something to be embraced. Every time you take a risk, you open yourself to new possibilities, to growth, and to extraordinary achievements. It's not about the size of the risk, it's about the willingness to take that step forward, to embrace uncertainty, and to trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. When you dare to take risks, you unlock a world of opportunities, and it is through those opportunities that true success and fulfillment are found. In conclusion, taking risks is not just about stepping into the unknown, it's about embracing the possibility of growth, opportunity, and achievement. The path to greatness is paved with uncertainty, but it's through risk that we unlock our potential, overcome obstacles, and realize our true capabilities. Playing it safe may feel comfortable, but it leads to mediocrity and stagnation. To achieve something extraordinary, you must be willing to face the fear of failure, step outside your comfort zone, and take the chances that others avoid. The greater the risk, the greater the reward. Each risk you take brings you closer to the success, fulfillment, and legacy you are capable of creating. So dare to take the leap, trust in your abilities, and embrace the extraordinary opportunities that come from embracing risk.